going to make a few changes, then I'll go live right after. Update name of the episode and such. I'm going to work on support today. Episode 2. Support. Done. And we'll just leave it at that. So, support. How do you support? There's a bunch of different ways. I'm going to teach more of an aggressive caster type. There's no real reasons to do that over, say, like a sustain lane with Sona or an engage with Leona or Braum. It's just, it goes back to my mantra of options. I like people who can harass, like people who scale throughout the game, and even if you fall behind, people who can still help out, regardless of the itemization they currently build. So the first game I'm going to go with is a Vel'Koz game that went really well in lane. There was awesome synergy between me and Draven, and I was also playing Morgana, who's really problematic right now. So it should illustrate a couple points dealing with those two champions. I'll fire up the replay. So what I like about Vel'Koz is he is a huge lane bully. You also notice I'm going to be running Clarity, which you will get ragged on in the lobby for it. I personally, it's more of a quality of life choice for me. I like being really aggressive with my spells and applying a lot of pressure in the lane. Clarity lets you do more of that, and that's a good thing. More pressure you're applying, the less options their ADC has. More the ADC has to pay attention to, the more farm he's going to miss. More farm your ADC gets over theirs, stronger you're going to be in team fights. So that's the logic behind it. I get a lot of people asking why not run Exhaust instead, and Exhaust doesn't have as many. I mean, Exhaust essentially you're going to use it to stop an AP mid from nuking your carry when he's already out of position or he's gotten caught. Or maybe he got jumped on in a team fight and focused. Getting close to their ADC and using it on him, or using it in no shit scenario where you've got no other options and you've got to slow some cocksucker who's about to kill you. So, and those are, I mean, it's useful in those spots. I can't argue, but I like the option to always be able to bully my lane. And that, I mean, that, as far as I'm concerned, for the first 15 minutes, that's my only job, is to bully my lane and keep my ADC alive with every option that I've got available, which is pretty much just warding and strong positioning and slowing anything that gets near him. So, also the E is huge for that final last-ditch peel. So with Vel'Koz in this Morgana lane, one of the reasons why he works so well against Morgana is she's going to be blowing a lot of Black Shields, and she's not going to have them for clinch scenarios. One of the annoying parts about Black Shield is the CC denial. Anytime your mid or your jungle's going to come to gank and Black Shield's up, they're probably not going to get the ADC. Maybe they'll get Morgana as she shields the ADC as he's running, but that's the best you're going to do. So applying a lot of pressure in lane with spells is a great way to counter Morgana, which sounds counterintuitive, but it's worked so far. I beat her up pretty badly with Zillion and Vel'Koz. More Vel'Koz than Zillion, just because I can get in a position to harass her safely with Vel'Koz, where Zillion it's mostly just within the minion wave. So they tried to harass early, and this actually looks really dangerous, but with the Q double slow split, it slowed them down and kept them away from everybody. This actually turned out in our favor. In no small part to Darius's. It was a really nice flash. Whirly axe. I don't know what that ability is called. A little cute level 1 gauge. We totally don't help the jungler at all. Just like the last video. That's not a theme. It's not a running theme of mine. It just happened to be a coincidence. So Lucian was left in a bad spot in this lane, and that kind of gave us an advantage right from the get-go. So it wasn't all that even. Morgana ended up having to sit back and defend for a while. He lost out on experience, and we gained a small advantage there, but that's not why we won the lane. It contributed to it. Can't argue that. Wait for Lucian to get back. TF made some very brilliant mid lane games. I think there was another TF in my last video too. Jonas X, carried by TF since 2010. So, again, Vel'Koz, heavy pressure. I level Q first. I run mana regen seals, and then everything else is pretty standard. Armor 10 or magic 10 reds, AP blues, and then armor. I think armor quints. I'm actually not 100%. I think that's what my build is. And then just 9/0/21. I alternate between leveling the E first, or the E second, and the W second. It depends on the scenario that we're in. Right now, with us being pushed up this far, the E can be a real saver. Although W allows for heavier harassment at levels 2 and 3. Well, I mean, level 3, actually, you'd have it anyways. So if it's a scenario where I can only really harass from a distance safely, like say it's a Blitzcrank or something, then I'll just level the Q twice at level 3, just for that extra little bit of punch. And you can do a lot of fun things with your Q, like you can walk right here and then fire it up to the minion that I'm doing right now. I do. Good example. And don't be afraid to get within range of Morgana. Most Morganas will telegraph them pretty badly. They'll walk right into sort of a range that's like right now she's telegraphing that she wants to kill. Be really obvious. As long as she's being obvious, keep an eye on Morgana. You can dodge it. So make sure you gotta develop a habit of always moving around with basically every action. Stay inside the minions. The minions are definitely your friend. As long as there's a minion between you and Morgana, she can't do anything to you beyond auto attack. That's nothing. Or soil, which is gonna like push her lane. They're both pretty non-options. And you notice every time Morgana tries to close the gap, I just run into the minions. There is safety in minions. I have to flash out of this, and I'm surprised I didn't die. I think it worked out. Did we get Lucian here? No, we get Lucian. I get Morgana. He had to kill too, that's the sad part. But the W and the Q, it's hard to line up the damage properly to avoid taking it. I even say it's almost like me typing to Draven right now, so I took it. And good ADCs won't care. They'll just be happy you got the kill. Saw Utter coming, so I dropped a Q slow. I was actually kind of lucky. The ward was literally about to die. Or maybe he just swept it. I don't think he did. I think he just swept as he went by. He was already dead. Tempting to stick around and try and kill the Lucian. Only 3 bars of health, but really not worth it. Especially with Utter still being around. Like that, this is a spot where it's attractive. You see that you lose the sight on Udyr, and it's easy to think that, oh, maybe I can get the kill. It's never worth it. Like, a good jungler will be paying attention and you will turn around and you will fucking die. Well, at least most likely. Unless Lucian's not paying attention, you catch him off guard. You really don't want to take chances going for kills. It kind of falls back into the hole, you know. You always want to be trading effectively, and you can go in lane, trade effectively for 7 minutes straight. You make one overextended dive, or you go for a kill that wasn't 100%, and all of a sudden you've just given up that entire advantage you were working for all that time. You have to be so careful when you're going for that stuff. Now that being said, you also want to be super aggressive, so you know when you can get that stuff and when you can't. And you're going to die a lot at the start when you're doing this. Like, you are going to die. And if you're going to feel stupid, and people are going to yell at you, and, like, just ignore them, really. If they start freaking out at you in the middle of a game, I use that ignore button so liberally. Like, these are teammates, they're like coworkers that you don't have to listen to, and I should have thought about this analogy before I started rambling about it. This is what coffee does to you. I'll just abandon it mid-analogy, or embarrass myself further. So, lane's going good. Lane continues to go good. There's a point here where once I hit level 6 with Vel'Koz, there's almost never a bad time to use your ultimate whenever there's an ADC in range. Like, there really isn't. So you see him drop it, assuming you're in a safe position to do so. So you'll see a point here where I get 6, I ulti, and it's in a very bad spot. Morgana's well within range to drop the bind, and it works out for us. So the QWE combo is obviously what you want to try and land. To conserve mana, QW is enough. You land the Q and you land the W immediately after that. Usually, like, the one tear will proc the second portion of his passive, and then he just won't be able to walk out for the third because of the slow. So that's kind of your 1-2 punch combo, which I hopefully will demonstrate within the next 30 seconds. Probably won't. Yeah, there it goes. Didn't land the Q. This Draven's really aggressive, and he's going for he's harassing the ADC when he gets the chance. Follows up on all my harasses. And don't be afraid to take farm while you're harassing either. Just go for the hits as much as you can. I mean, don't like continually drop your W through the minion wave. But if you think it's going to land, then go for it. Here, I think TF's ganking our lane. I'm not paying attention at all. So I go to ult. But Nocturne's here, so that's something. I didn't see him at all in the minimap. I was going entirely off TF. And this almost works out too. But I mean, we don't get the kill, but we forced them out of lane, we get the tower. I mean, those are all good things. We didn't get the kill, but we got an objective, and we're denying them farm experience. So again, just because you didn't get the kill, not a big deal. Like as ADC, I never really go for kills. I try to take them if the option's there. But chasing them down, especially like once team fights hit, chasing as ADC is really dangerous. Unless you're Vayne, you can tumble out of a million spots. So that was basically this. That's all I really wanted to show in this game. Was that's all that really was crushing in lane. I want to demonstrate harassing and getting in the face, avoiding Morgana binds, sitting minions. It's about everything I wanted to cover. It just snowballs from here. They fall further behind. They get further and further ahead. They never really gained a foothold. I think they surrendered at like 25 minutes or even earlier. But there's a point coming up where I got really stupid ultimate. Watch that. I'll show you how not to ultimate. I think it's right here. This is me going for a kill, very foolishly. Oh! This is a completely different spot. It's the only way we were getting that
kill. Rampage.
Oops.
Purple team's turret has been destroyed.
Watch TF. See how this TF is crushing Ahri. Oh, we almost dodged that. The TF's engaging really well. Notice how he's... Here, let's back that up a little bit. A little bit more. I like the fights.
Purple team's turret has been
They're
destroyed.
both full health. TF's probably got him. So he's always trying to close the gap and harass her with everything he can, which is really nice. And you notice he's always moving left to right. I mean, he doesn't dodge everything, but he dodges most of it. If at the very least, he keeps her thinking, and that is definitely the way you want to do. Getting hit a lot. He's also getting kills, so can't fault him. It's hard to dodge while you're also trying to line up a skill shot. To be fair, I get hit all the time doing that. It's almost just something that comes with time. The more you throw, the more you get used to watching not just your character and the thing that you're throwing at, but other things on the screen. You will develop this sort of like peripheral game vision. It's weird, where you'll see someone coming in from the corner and you know to throw something at them or avoid what they're going to throw. Or that is a lot of what this game is learning what the champion's ranges are, what their most problematic abilities are, how to avoid them. And like pick up little pieces of information like that, and build a little information cake. You'll be in a better spot. You just keep adding to the cake with your information. I don't know why it's a cake, but it's a cake, and you will improve. Just keep thinking about what you're doing wrong. Like what little spots were there back when I was in that lane where I could have been applying a little more pressure, or maybe I made a mistake and got caught. Like, was it an obvious mistake? Was it something that was easily avoidable? Or did the person make a play? Like, sometimes you're gonna die and the person is making a play, and you got outplayed, and that shit's gonna happen. Like, sometimes you can't even avoid it. Like an Annie Flash Tibbers when she's fed, you get nuked. There's no avoiding that shit, especially if you don't got a ward for it. You could say you could have been smarter with your positioning and not been in that spot in the first place because it wasn't warded, and danger lurks in the dark. It's a good way to put it. Be scared of the dark in this game. Don't be... pretend you're a 5-year-old kid again. Anytime you look at the minimap and you're in an area and there's darkness and you don't see the other 4 people that you're worried about on the minimap currently, be worried. Like, be genuinely worried. Like, get a fear going for yourself whenever you see that darkness on the minimap that's around you. Like, be worried about the dark. It's a great thing that will save you from a lot of stupid deaths in this game. So I'm kind of getting off track on the lane. Coffee will do that. I don't know what else there is to train, or what else there is to show in this game. Again, don't be scared to get prey, but if I miss that E, on that engagement, I'm almost royally fucked if he decides to maintain the engagement. I've got another Q I can land. If that misses, then I completely am fucked. He'll just walk on top of me and kill me. You do gotta walk the fine line. But also, there's a lot of people you can intimidate in this, especially once you've landed enough skill shots and you present a threat to them. In the higher in elo you go, the less that's true. People are just gonna be more aware of the damage they can do, whether or not they can kill you. This should not. It totally worked out, but I shouldn't have. Like, I saw TF coming down, I thought he might. He was running down on the minimap. Our jungle. But here, I'll back that up just because it's a good example of when not to ult. And then we'll move on to the video. I'm getting sick of this one. As I keep saying. So that Morgana was well within range. I was low. It's a channeling rooted ability. But then again, that's why I was saying the Draven was playing really well. It was a really good follow up to finish off Lucian. TF would have got him anyways. TF wasn't there. It was a complete waste. Okay, so we'll call that the end of this game with Belkov. The next game is Zillion game that I was actually having trouble finding one because of the patch. The old Zillion games I have are all a black background. Like Summoner's Rift is in the nightest of nights. I was almost tempted to still run it because it looked kind of cool, but it wouldn't have made much sense. Anyone showing up in the middle, or, well, anyways. So we'll go with this one. Laning did not go well. No, that's the wrong game. That's the wrong game. That was a game where... That's the wrong game. Go back to full screen face. No, that's not it either. Let's start numbering these. I was laning with a Kate. There it is. Oh, I didn't think at all that I've got a giant face in the corner here. I hope I didn't block too much of the stuff I was showing. I'm tempted to take that webcam down in the corner. I think it's covering too much of the action. And it's not on my screen that I'm showing on, so it's hard to... Not used to remembering that it's there. But that's something easily changed. It's the enemy team. So, this game outlines how to absolutely crush a game with Pantheon more than anything else. I think you finished the game with like 22 kills, or it was pretty obscene. But we do lose lane. It's in a small part to Caitlyn's not really paying attention, getting caught in a few spots. There was a few ganks that came in that I maybe could have pinged a little quicker, or maybe just pinged, period. Pinging the map is wildly useful, like dropping big red pings right in front of somebody's. I can't do that with this LOL replay program. But you know, dropping the ping right in their screen, like not in the corner where it's coming from, but in their screen, sort of in the direction where the gank is coming from, is way more useful. Because I mean, you hear pings going off in the map all the time, and it's kind of easy to assume or just not even look at them, or but it's really hard to ignore a bunch of red pings right in your map. And be insistent with it too, like drop 2 or 3. I know for the longest time I'd see one and be like, well, maybe he didn't. Did he just see something? You know, I questioned. Also, this is back in the day where there were only blue pings. Red pings are scarier. It's my e-cigarette. Brilliant if you're trying to quit smoking.
Minions have spawned.
Let's just fast forward to the lane. This is nothing interesting. And we've already gone back. So that was a bit of a spoiler. But the initial trades, Caitlyn tries to be aggressive. It does not work out. And she got hooked way too many times this game. See, notice how the sidestepping? I mean, it's not like I was trying to specifically dodge a flay there. But I know that the flay and the hook are skill shots, and they're generally straight thrown. So again, sidestepping's always a good idea. This Lucian was better at trades than our Caitlyn was. The lane paid for it. So, Zilean. Why do I like Zilean? Zilean is a great lane harasser. As you notice, you can sit in the minions fairly safely and drop a lot of damage. The shitty part about him is he's really squishy. Like you can't get caught. I'm surprised. I'm almost certain if they had jumped on me there instead of Caitlyn, that would have turned out different for him. Although it still worked out, I think, in the end. So my mistake here was letting Thresh get a little too close. I should have been. I mean, it's hard to toss up in that spot between a super low ADC and like I kind of want to rely on my ADC there to stay away from the Thresh. Like. The bush is... Oh, it's not warded. That was my mistake. I may have been out of wards, to be fair. But it's one thing you really want to pay attention to when you're fighting Threshes, Morganas, Blitzcranks, anyone with problematic, even Nami, problematic CC abilities. You gotta keep sight on the bush that they're in by going in there yourself, which is not the ideal scenario, or just keep it warded. You have to. Like, as an ADC, I need to see that hook coming so I can dodge it, at the very least. Like, otherwise I've got to... Like, sitting back and waiting for the lane to push up is a bad option to choose, because that's giving them a massive advantage. It's basically throwing in the towel and saying, I give up, I can't deal with these things that you're doing. So, I mean, that's, yeah. Ward the bush. That's what went wrong there. Like, I almost want to rewind and then go from our site. Well, I think the point was made. So bush control is really important. When it comes to warding, I guess I'll continue this. It's always good to keep this bush warded as opposed to this one. You always want to ward this one. Ideally, especially, it's not as early, like say levels 1 to 4. But once you hit like 5 to 6, where the jungler is going to have a lot more opportunities to come. Like he's going to be 6 or 7 at that point. He's going to have a lot more opportunities to come down and run up through this bush. So you really want to keep it warded just to avoid the shadow ganks that, the Lee Sin that just suddenly appears from fucking nowhere. That shit's never fun. I don't like this Elise's gank. This lane's still really pushed. This is a big minion wave. This is going to take a while to go down. And then even once it does go down, the lane's still going to be pushed to like right here. And, it's a Thresh. And like Lucian's got a gap closer. Thresh has a lantern. I mean, if you catch Thresh by himself and you can 100-0 him somehow at this state in the game, great. But as you see, we catch him. And even if I land a double bomb here, which I wouldn't really want to blow my whole mana pool, damaging a Thresh that's not going to even go down to 50%. You do want to save as many of your bombs as you can for their ADC. And pressure him as much as possible. If the support's good, he's going to prevent it. If he's bad, he's going to be passive and just hide behind. So at least camp this lane far too long. I guess as a side note, I should have had this. Oh, I did have this bush ward. I should have pinged that for Caitlyn. B. Well, I kind of want to blame Elise for this. Because any good jungler, as a side note, I used to be a jungle main. I still jungle a lot, but I feel like a real man. And that turned out to work far better than insisting on a single rule every game. I was going to say, any good jungler is going to come and help out their lane if he sees that you're camping it, obviously. Like this Elise sitting in that lane for so long is basically calling their Xin Zhao down. And at this early state in the game, it's almost guaranteed he's going to be a higher level. Plus he's Xin, like he's a scary champion for engaging period. Like I would rather have a Xin rushing into a fight than an Elise. The fact that, he's going to be getting in their face and drawing a lot of aggro. Although Elise can too. I don't know why I'm liking Elise all of a sudden. I played Elise for a long time. She's a really strong champion. I wonder if I had a chrono shift or a time warp for Caitlyn when that gank came in. I do remember playing not 100% this game. It felt clunky.
A summoner has disconnected.
He comes back. What else is there to show? I'm running out of steam here. Oh, coffee. Getting hooked again. The last time it's gonna happen. If you end up playing Zillion, be very careful once you ultimate somebody. People know. First off, you're gonna be playing. If you play Zillion, you're gonna be playing him at a lower. Chances are you're gonna be playing him at a lower elo, just because 9% of the league is under gold, and people are going to treat him like everybody else. It is. I mean, I'll still see people in plat that will dive me as a Zillion when I've very clearly got my ultimate up, and they're clearly just not. They're just not thinking about it. That's the only thing I can come up with, anyways. Because I mean, it's not like they're like, okay, we're going to kill him, and then we're going to wait under the tower while we're getting hit by it. Yeah, that was the worst joke ever. I just told the worst joke in the history of leagues. I knew Thresh was in there, and I just walked right into that hook anyways. Like, I should have assumed that was coming, and then, walked towards and gone at a 90-degree angle. Oh, one thing I completely glazed over. This is a good example of a lane that we lose, but we can still compete in. Like, one thing just makes me rage is when I see, you know, a bot lane will, you know, they'll lose a double kill early and completely and totally give up and just start. I mean, it's not like they mean to start hard feeding, but you know, they just don't try anymore. They don't try and fight properly or smart, or you know, they just keep doing what they were doing before and straight out engaging when they couldn't, you know, when they can't win the fight. That is one thing you got to be real careful with. Like, say you're playing a Leona lane, you go for the initial engagement, you lose, other team gets a double kill. You were mostly fucked at that point. Like, the Leona doesn't have very many recourses beyond wait for the jungler, wait for the enemy, wait for their ADC to do something stupid, or send her turret and get beat up. Like, it's a really ugly spot to be in. Same thing with, you know, Alistair, for example. He can't do... Well, actually, no, that's not true. Alistair still has the... He has the CC to keep the ADC alive a little more. So that's not nothing. Plus the heal. The best example. But we'll stick with Leona. She gets in that spot. I went for... I'm glazing over the game. I went for a gank here, hoping Thresh wouldn't come back. That would have been a perfect dive. Anyways, so, one reason why Zilean or Vel'Koz, compared to Leona is still good, so we lose a double kill early here. I can still harass, I can keep her alive, and, you know, well, obviously I can keep her alive with the ultimate. I can speed in ganks, like, I can still apply pressure in the lane, although once Thresh gets to a certain size, he can ignore, largely, everything I'm doing. Just absorb the bombs, wait for my mana to go down, annihilate me. But if you can't keep me off Lucian, that's always an option still. The ADC is always going to be squishy. And Lucian respects it too, like he knows I'm an issue now. I think he's also keeping in mind that I've got a clarity and no mana doesn't mean no mana. You can clarity bait, that's something people will not pay attention to. Right, warding. I glazed over that earlier. As purple side, you always want to keep this bush warded. It's going to save you a lot of trouble. Their jungler, or their mid's going to love coming down through this bush and up through this lane. Their jungler's going to come the same way. And then just dragon. Just dragon and try will always save you. I find as blue side, early on, a ward right here will save you from almost everything. You will very rarely see their jungler coming down through your lane that early on, just because they're not at, you know, full damage potential yet. Getting caught there by our jungler is somewhat problematic. Good ones will, but that will, I mean, I haven't had that ward pay for, I haven't regretted putting a ward there in a long time. Is probably a good way to put it. So, you know, maybe 5% of times you'll see, you know, assuming in this side, you can ward right here. And this is when, you know, basically when the lane is right around this point, it's still pretty safe. Like, if you and your ADC are in these points, then you don't really need a ward right there. The jungler will come down, you'll see him just run away. Once you sort of get to this stage right here is when you want to get that ward there. Again, as blue side, not as purple side.
Killing spree.
I think I go for some harassment, but it's really stupid. Yeah. Take a whole bunch of damage, and now I gotta be... Thank God she didn't get hooked there. I mean, I still got a lot of damage off on Lucian, so now he has to be careful again. You don't want to first pick Zilean. A smart person will go Sustain. A smarter person will go Nami, which it just ruins Zilean's day completely. This is an engagement. I'm trying to look stupid. That is almost kind of the Zilean engage, is get near them low health and ult yourself. If your ADC's not getting in their face, like, Because as ADC, when you're playing with a Zillion, you can ham so hard at level 6. It's stupid, especially if you like the lanes currently moving. Ultimate just gives you so much versatility. Like having to kill the ADC 1.5 times with a break in between is brutal.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
I started playing this guy when I played a Zillion Vayne bot lane, and like there was so little counterplay options. I can't remember who I was. Support that time. Maybe I can't remember. I don't want to say Nami because I just said Nami's a strong counter to him, and she is. Sustain is a counter to him in general, and then being able to lock down Zillion and prevent him from casting for a second is death. Being able to lock him down in general is death. Just having the combination of CC and Alistar's not so much. I haventar had issues with Alistar. Alistar I can poke down a lot and damage him without really leaving him many options. Like he's got to blow his whole load just to get close and knock me in the air for a second. I don't know, Nami's knock up plus the CC she adds to the auto attack of her ADC is just too much. Plus, like, something squishy as all hell, you really don't have any options to get caught. I was trying to get near this Xerath and harass him, but he was good with those skill shots. I'm still getting used to playing higher quality opponents in Platinum. I'm used to being able to bully people. I basically stick around here with no health. It's just a walking ultimate. Wait for something to go horribly wrong with somebody. But it honestly does. Speak up. You end up playing Zillion, I'm saying that too many times. When your ultimate's down, basically always chrono shift to burn it. It was down there. I don't know why it's random chrono shift. Or just randomly chrono shift. That's a way to go too. So Pantheon basically crushes the rest of this game, and I don't do much else. I think there's one cute little engage in the corner in a little bit. Is this a fight? No. It's off right around here. There we go. Oh yeah. I want to initiate on these guys. I want them to get closer. I didn't see Zed. Well, actually, I didn't. I couldn't see Zed. He was coming up lane. But this is just I'm just hiding across the wall, drop bombs, and people's heads and speed up Rise. Speed up Rise is a nightmare. I mean, really, he's so short range. That's kind of one of his Achilles heel. Making him, you know, speed of really fast moving thing. It's really fast and moves. Making him the speed of a Teemo with his stupid Teemo Satan speed ability. I've never played Teemo. I don't know what any of his abilities are called beyond Satan mushrooms and Satan darts. Making me rise that fast is problematic, to say the least. There's a lot of champions Zillion synergizes really well with. There was one game, it was a Lulu? It was largely me and Lulu, a Lulu mid, and a Zillion support on kind of really aggressive Tryndamere. And it was in ranked, and I have not seen a single character shit on people so badly. Because, like, with my speed, and Lulu's speed, and her shield, and then he gets up, like, 4 times, and then Lulu ultimates him after he dies for the 4th time. Like, it was something I would never want to deal with, and it looked so completely and utterly broken that, I mean, it might just be that it isn't played that much and isn't really... well, I don't know where to go with it. All I know is it was wildly overpowered. I don't know what to say beyond that. Let's watch this Pantheon crush it. I still think he's gonna win this somehow. I don't know how. He's going pretty man mode. Alright, so that's about the end of my ramble. There's no real final point I'm gonna try and make. So I hope that was useful. Tomorrow I'm probably gonna do jungler mid. I haven't really decided yet. I'll go through a couple games and pick up a couple videos, and we'll try and find some more useful stuff to do. I don't know. Running out of steam. I haven't had enough. I've either had too much or not enough coffee. Alright, until next time, guys. Keep fit and have fun. I can't believe I'm signing off with that. I'm gonna keep up with that for a while. That's hilarious. If you guys don't know, it's from Body Break. Go YouTube it. Till next time.